Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mihir, and in this video I'll be covering how you can buy a property using the First Home Buyer Super Scheme. The way to achieve this is through the First Home Buyer Super Scheme, which is a government legislation introduced in 2017, which allows people to contribute additional amounts of money into their superannuation fund to buy a house. In some cases, the government also contributes depending on your salary and age, things like that. They can also contribute money, which is really beneficial. I know this sounds really interesting. The place where I derive this information is from the government's own website. So I'll leave a link down below in the description. I'll put it somewhere up here so you can access it. So now you may be wondering, how much money can I get for my superannuation fund? Well, according to them, you can apply to have a maximum of $15,000 of your voluntary contributions from any one financial year included in your eligible contributions to be released under the First Home Super Scheme, up to a total of $30,000 contributions across all years. So what we can derive from this information is that a maximum of $30,000 can be taken from your superannuation fund. I know that sounds really great, but now we must determine your eligibility. To be eligible, you must firstly be over 18, which is given. You have to be over 18. However, if you're not over 18, you're still under 18, what I suggest you do is keep putting that money in your superannuation fund. Because when you're younger than you're under 18, you don't have much expenses, your parents take care of everything, you got school. The best thing I suggest you do is just keep putting that money in your super. You may not want to buy a house. I understand that you might still want to rent, things like that. However, I'll show you like a video up here. Essentially what you can see is that the more money you put in your super, and if you understand the basics of compound interest, is that the longer you let something compound, the more bigger and bigger it gets. So if you keep putting money early and on, that, for example, $1,000 will compound to over like $10,000, then to $100,000, more and more you get older, which is really amazing. So I suggest you put money in your superannuation fund. The second criteria is you must have never owned a property previously. However, this is the gray area, as according to them, you can still access your super. The thing is, you must have either lost it in some financial hardship or you just sold it off. So the thing is, a financial hardship would be maybe illness, you could stop working, a divorce. There's many things they take into consideration. Hence why I recommend you talk to them directly, because I don't know your situation and they can assess it better than I can do, obviously. And just as like sort of a side note, which I want to discuss, is that we all know that every individual, regardless if they're the husband, the wife, or whatever, has a superannuation fund. Even kids have one. So what I'm trying to say is that, for example, let's say you got a husband and a wife. The husband is making the salary sacrifice contributions, and eventually he buys the property in his name. And the wife could maybe contribute $10,000 or something if they're falling short. However, it's still in the husband's name. Then the wife can still apply, because she doesn't have a property. She can be like, okay, I'll make contributions as well. Then she can get a property in her name. So you got two properties amongst two couples, which is a really good start. So you got one for husband and one for the wife. And then you can make one, say, the place you're living, and one in investment property, and you're getting rental from it. So it obviously covers the mortgage of that house, and you can even put it towards your sort of mortgage for your own primary place of residence. And the thing with that is, I think it's really amazing. And some of you might be scratching your head, shouldn't I get a joint loan? Well, the thing with joint loan is it restricts you. If you want to go down the investing pathway for property, in some cases, yes, it is beneficial. But most of the time, it's really not beneficial, because the income you guys are earning is actually not that bad. If you're earning around $78,000, which is the average income, you can do a lot. The most of you just go to the big four banks such as ANZ, NAB, Westpac, Commonwealth. There's over 400 lenders in Australia. And just because you go to ANZ opposed to another lender, that doesn't mean one is safe over the other. It is sort of this social icon sort of thing, or social prestige. Just because you're going to the ANZ doesn't mean a lender's trash or it doesn't have any sort of security. That's what I want you guys to keep in mind. Obviously, I'm not an accountant and I want you to consult with one. But don't consult with an accountant who has never bought a property, okay? So he doesn't do what he preaches. Because why? I'll give you a quick example. Why would you hire a maths teacher that has never done maths in their life? Like, it's a no-brainer. So in this case, why would you hire someone to manage your finances relating to something, even though he's never done it? Okay, he studied it, but like, what? Why hasn't he applied it if this is such a good scenario? Like, it makes no sense. So please pick the people you associate with carefully, because that's really important as well. So enough of my rant, and now I'm going to proceed with the video. Now I'm going to start talking about basic salary sacrificing components. And if you don't understand what salary sacrificing is, I'll leave a link somewhere here. Otherwise, if you got the basics down, just proceed with the video. Okay, this part is going to stumble a lot of people. It's really simple, but many people keep overlooking it. Okay, so the first home buyer super scheme has an ordering rule, which you guys should be definitely aware of. For instance, when I refer to salary sacrificing, I'm referring to your pre-tax income. Say you're earning 80k, you put in 10k, so you're left with 70k, that's taxable. That's what I'm referring to as salary sacrificing, okay? Pre-tax. And after tax is obviously after you've paid your tax and making additional contributions to your superannuation fund. Alright, so what people do is sometimes they do a bit of both. So they may say salary sacrifice 10k, then after they've got their income tax and all that, they might put in like 1k. Do not do that, or do not do that. Because what happens is they don't care, the government, alright? The government cares about where you've done it, where you've put the money. For instance, you might have put 10k in your salary sacrificing method, okay? And you might have put 1k after tax. The one they're going to take is the 1k, okay, which really stumbles up people. They're going to take the 1k over the 10k. And another thing is, I don't understand why you guys would do this. It's because when you put money in your super, right, you're getting taxed at 15%, and I'm assuming you earn under less than $250,000, hence why you're listening to me as well. So what I'm saying is you're going to get taxed 15% when you salary sacrifice, as opposed to the marginal tax rate, which is around 30, and I'm assuming obviously most on your salary, it's going to be around 30% you're going to get taxed. So I don't understand why people do this. If you're going to do it all in salary sacrificing. Do it pre-tax, don't do it after tax. Firstly, you're getting taxed less, and if you're going to put most of your money in, you know, pre-tax, and if you put even a little smither of money into after tax, they're going to take that money, they're going to prioritize that and use that towards the contribution of that year, which is really, really frustrating. So keep that in mind. Now, before you decide to follow through with this, please consult an accountant. And like I was ranting before, I want you to have an accountant that has properties behind him. He preaches what he does. All right, you don't want a professor who knows nothing and he's just standing there. You want someone who has done something. For example, why do people go to coaches? Because they've achieved something they want to achieve. This is the same concept. You want someone who's done the actual thing, rather than listening to the theory, because it doesn't work. Now, that's all for this video. I hope all the best towards your investing endeavors, and goodbye.